Hey everybody, we're picking up on page 40. Chapter 7. I imagine there comes a certain time in a new friendship when the inevitable invitation comes up. Want to come to my house? Which will mean sometime fairly soon after that, you most likely have to reciprocate. This is exactly why I've always managed to successfully avoid it until this moment. Of course, that is also why I never had a best friend before. Want to come to my house for dinner tonight? Margaret asked me yesterday. It isn't that I don't want anyone to come to my house. I do. It's just that I'm afraid they'll ask questions. They might wonder about Matu's name or figure out that I am not, in fact, Navajo or Sioux or a descendant of any other Native American tribe. Or they'll see the photo of my mother on the mantle. It's actually a very important, special picture. It's a photo of me and my mom at Christmas. But there are a lot of red flags in the picture. Well, not really red flags, but things that might lead to questions. Questions about where it was taken and why it's so different looking. They might ask. For one thing, my mother is dressed in all green, but that, in and of itself, might not seem so odd. It's just a green sweater with a green collar of her shirt poking out and plain green pants. Her hair is pulled back in a ponytail, nothing fancy, and if you looked closely, you'd see that she has no jewelry on. But who would really notice that? My mom is sitting on a metal chair, another giveaway, and I am standing in front of her, kind of between her knees. Her arms are around me. I am wearing this really ugly blue striped dress because it's a holiday visiting day, and they make a big deal of it at the prison, with decorations and sweets. And Matu made me get dressed up for it with a hand-me-down dress from a friend of hers. But that's not it either. No, it's more about the roaring fireplace and the fur-trimmed Christmas stockings behind her. There is a big wrinkle right down the center, rolling right across the brick chimney and making a bump in that roaring fire, because it's really just a plastic background, like the screens they use for slideshow projections. So it doesn't take a genius to tell it's fake. There are no flames coming from that fire, no smell of cookies baking in the oven or turkey roasting. There are no presents under that tree. Not that year, the year before, or the year after. All of it was fake. And then again, you couldn't get more real than spending Christmas Day with your mom in prison. And I love that picture more than anything. I just didn't really want anyone else to know about it. Okay, so when Margaret asked me over to her house, I said no. Oh, all right, Margaret says. Camp is over for the day. Yvette and Beatrice walk us all back to our houses. We drop Elise off first. When we get to Margaret's house, her mom is waiting outside the front door. At least I assume it's her mom. When you don't have a regular mom situations, you'd think you wouldn't assume these kinds of things. But I usually do anyway. Just like everyone else does. Are you sure you don't want to come over, Ruby? Margaret asked me again. Then she looks up at the mom, like maybe she could say something that would change my mind. I look up the few steps leading to their house, but oh no, that has to be Margaret's mom. She has the exact same black hair, shiny and straight, only the mom has hers wrapped up on top of her in that way that looks neat and secure, but also loose and pretty. When I visit my mom, she brushes my hair, sometimes for the whole visit. We aren't allowed to have a hairbrush, so she uses her hands. Now, Moo, don't put your friend on the spot, Margaret's mother says. Maybe she needs to get home. Maybe she's just tired. And I am so torn because Margaret is the first girl that ever seemed like she might be my real best friend. And if I don't take this next step, I'll find out. Next year is middle school, and by all accounts, a best friend is an essential accessory. Not to mention, I really, really like Margaret. Maybe another night, I say to Margaret, glancing up at her mom for her approval. How about tomorrow night then? Margaret jumps in right away. Yvette and Beatrice are still standing there, waiting, not really listening, but sort of half waiting for the conversation to be over so they can move on and get rid of me at my house, like when the bus driver patiently lets some kid hold on and say goodbye to his mom for longer than necessary.